Hey up YouTube, I'm going to say this every bloody time, but I'm going to try and keep it dead short and sweet today. So a quick rundown of what we're going to do today. I'm going to go through my seeds. I got asked off the back of last Sunday's video lots of questions. Now today is, I think, Monday the 17th of August. I'll correct it down below if not. And we're going to do a bit more experimenting. I got asked so many times, am I too late for parsnips? My reply was generally yes. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. It got me thinking. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to sow some in some buckets and we're going to put them in the polytunnel in the hope they catch up. So we're going to give that a go and see how things happen. We're going to sow some winter lettuce. So we're going to have, I'm trying to go for salad available all through winter, or at least a form of salad. A little bit of harvesting to do, not a great deal to do out there today. My corn unfortunately still isn't ready, which is... I've had some potatoes, so I'm not going to harvest any of them today. I should have recorded it, but I didn't. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to try and keep it short. I'm going to try and keep the entire video short. I'm going to go through, I'm going to plant some winter, or the girls might even do it, plant some winter crops. So we're going to aim for some winter crops. And yeah, I'll see you after the intro. See you in a sec. Okay guys, so dead quick, I'm going to run you through the majority of what I'm going to be sowing today. A lot of it won't come as a surprise, but maybe some of it will, I don't know. But today I'm actually sowing in a proper seed compost. So this is what I'm using for. I have used it before. The only reason I quite often don't buy it is because it's quite expensive. But this coming year I'm going to try to use a proper seed and cutting compost when and on my seedlings to see if it makes any difference. Not that I've fallen out with Jack's Magic. Jack's Magic is still my go-to compost, but the primary reason that I'm going to try this next year is on my corn. I seem to get really poor germination on my corn, so I'm going to do a couple of things next year. I'm going to chit it and I'm going to grow it in seed and cutting compost. But today, that is the sowing, that is the medium we are using to put the seeds into. This is what it looks like. It's lovely and black, no particularly unpleasant odour to it, a little bit of grit, but quite importantly, he says, just finding a few lumps, it's rather fine, which is what you need. So I'm not going to show you how to sow all these seeds because you've seen me do them in recent videos, and then there's a couple of things that I will probably show you because we're going to do them outside. But I'm going to do some more radish, and that is Albina. We're going to do some more other radish, which is classic French breakfast. Going for a winter lettuce, which is implied by the name, Winter Imperial. That will go in the polytunnel. And then I'm going to sow some more cauliflower. Now, my understanding is that if I sow these now in August, that these should give me an early crop next year. They might give me an early crop this year, depending on how the weather goes, but I'm hoping that they'll overwinter. That's my plan. So I'm going to crack on. I'm going to sow these seeds. There's nothing that you haven't seen me do before. Standard module. Fill it with compost. In fact, overfill it, because I do like this new technique of just overfill, bang it down a bit. Where's my level of 5,000 gone? Level of 5,000 looks a lot like a piece of wood.
Piece of wood?
Yes. It was in here. It was right here. There it is. Level of 5,000. You know, from Grow, Cook and Eat. I bought one of his level of 5,000s.
It's just a piece of wood. Just a piece of wood, guys.
Nothing gets past you, does it? Well, it's not. It's a level of 5,000. It looks a lot like a piece of wood, but it's a level of 5,000.
It's just a piece of wood.
So, yeah. Apart from that, you know, everything's the same. Little divot, put some seeds in. The radish, these French breakfast is from Derry. I've had really poor germination, so I'll be multi-sowing those. Everything else I will try my best to single sow. So we'll get these in now. Right, guys, so we've just done the seeds. So I'm just having a look at this compost now. This does look like it's ex-council or something like that. I don't know where the source is. I don't know if they say it actually on the packet. So this compost, excuse me, is actually, is that in shot? My local garden centre. It's their own compost, Silica Lodge Garden Centre in Scunthorpe. Not a sponsor, but we're just going to have a look at this compost. Doesn't tell me, filled in accordance with growing media code of practice, quantity measurements. Doesn't tell me where it's from. Doesn't tell me any peat compost or any peat content, but I think from the looks of it, blended from high quality, it has got bio peat moss in it with essential plant nutrients, blah, blah. So I'm not going to go through all that. I just wondered where it came from. The quality of it, let me turn around and face the camera again. Quality of it, it looks alright actually. It's very light and very brown, and there's clearly a lot of organic material in there. You can see sort of broken down wood chip and things like that. So we'll give it a go. I bought it because, well, I've been meaning to give it a go for ages, and you know, this is as good a time as any. Now what I'm going to sow in these is actually quite controversial. About two videos back I said I didn't understand why Grow Your Own had given me parsnip seeds in August. And according to the packet directions, I'll show you the packet quickly, they shouldn't really be sown past the end of March. Now last week's video I got asked a lot because I sowed carrots in buckets about whether or not you could get away with parsnips in buckets. So I thought, you know what, damn it all, I got a free packet of seeds with the magazine obviously. Let's sow them in this compost, put them in the polytunnel to give them a good start, hopefully try and encourage them to catch up a bit, because obviously they are being sown technically to nearly 2 months too late. And we'll see if they'll catch up, see if they grow, and let's see if we can end up with parsnips for our Christmas dinner as well. So what we've got a seed fill of 130. Parsnips are a bit of a controversial subject for the kids. We've got a seed content of 130 in this packet, and I will probably sow all of them. Purely and simply because parsnips do seem to have very sketchy germination. So, no, because you can't reach. So parsnip seeds, they're plenty big enough to sow sparingly, but you tend to find that germination on parsnips is really, really poor. So I'm trying to get them in sort of 2s and 3s in little clusters where I'll be able to come back in and thin them out. And that's what I'm going to sow in the top of there. We don't need loads because they don't store very well. And then what I'm going to do, once again, hopefully to aid germination, instead of putting a heavy multi-purpose back on top, I'm simply going to sprinkle over some of this seed compost. Not a lot because it's expensive and I don't want to use it all at once. If, by the way, guys, if you know of a good cheap source for this sowing compost, please let me know in the comments below. But we're going to sprinkle it quite lightly with some of the seed and cutting compost. We're going to then go and water these in a little bit, make sure that, pat them down, make sure that there's good contact. Some of them are poking through here, so a little bit more soil. And like I said, we're then going to put these in the polytunnel. I'll put a waterer in them to make sure that they get regular water. We'll put them in the polytunnel until they've germinated, and reverse of the carrots and the potatoes, these will then go outside once they've germinated and kind of caught up a little bit. These will then go outside for winter. They should be relatively winter hardy. I might wrap the tubs in a little bit of fleece or something just to stop the tub from freezing, or I might bury it. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. What I feel like when the weather changes, they may come inside the polytunnel. It's not going to make a great deal of difference. But for now, they're going to get watered. They're going to go in the polytunnel, and that's where they're going to stay. I'm going to do 2 buckets of this. So I'm going to do another one, then we'll get them ready, and then we've got some more sowing to do in the polytunnel. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Leveler 5000's big brother. This is the Spacer 2000. Patent pending, still needs work. What this enables me to do, ideally it needs to be a bit shorter, to be honest, but what it enables me to do is get a nice spacing for my rows. The bed's not level. Put your finger down there, down the side of the board. So, and then you flip the board, or in my case I'm just going to move it to the other side, and that's a 4-inch spacing. That is a little bit closer than it should be, but I'll tell you why in a minute. So what I'm going to sell out here is more of these round carrots, these Paris Market Atlas carrots. I'm going to sow these quite sort of loosey-goosey, and my aim is to use up a packet. Carrot seed, like parsnip, doesn't keep very well. You're aiming for as thinly as you possibly can. If you can, take the time to sow 1 or 2 every few inches. So I'm going to cluster sow or bunch sow these spring onions in here, giving them a fair bit of space, because each cluster is going to be 4 or 5 seeds. Make a few holes, just as a sort of guide. I don't think I'm going to have enough seed to do all these holes. But it's easier to make them when you haven't got seed in your hand. Nowhere near enough. So start at the back, and then cover everything up. Cover everybody up, put this in the middle, and all that does really is keep the compost wet, because the carrots, you know, they're better when left in a sort of semi-dry condition. Obviously with the onions being in there, I don't want it to be completely dry, so I'll put just 1 waterer in there, and it'll just keep the compost moist. But yeah, I'll water those seeds in, and then that's going to be up for us for today. I'll nip back in the shed and say bye-bye. Here's a minute. Actually guys, sorry, I'm just trying to find you a semi-decent position. Before I sign off from the polytunnel, at least, I just want to show you, a lot of YouTubers, myself included, are saying, oh, you know, we're starting to prep for shutting down. We're shutting down, you know, we're not re-sowing beds with things, and you know, the season's starting to slow down. That is correct, but it by no means means the season is over with regards to sowing new seeds. Now, you've just seen me sow some radish, some lettuce, some onions and some collies. and I just want to show you my seed sowing table, and sort of the season isn't over. Now I'll run you through. A lot of it is duplication for continual crops. Some of it is experimentation, like the parsnips we've just sown. But I'll just show you my seed table. So let's see. You can see there, and it keeps coming. You know that the season is far from over. Starting right down here, we've got the onions, the overwintering yellow sensu onions. These ones are actually ready for planting out. It's just one of the things I'm waiting on some space for. I've kind of made some, but I need to get it neatened up quite considerably. But these guys are desperate to go out. I dare even lift the container up, truth be told, because there's probably masses of roots coming out the bottom. Oh, it's not too bad. And then sort of going from the onions, you've got the radicchio, the Chinese kale, that salad leaf that apparently tastes like spinach, Claytonia. Then we've got some little gem lettuce, some Durham early cabbages, some of those spring onions that you've just seen me sow, some of the silver skins. We've got some turnips here. We've got more second sowing of the sensu onions. We've got autumn king cauliflowers, and then you've got what we've just sown. So you can see that the season, you know, isn't over. You know, it's not the end of the world for the growers. So picking your varieties and taking your time, you know, stuff is still growing. So now all my seeds have had a good soak, I'm going to empty out this seed table of water, and I'll see you in the shed in a minute. Well guys, that's going to be it from us down on the plot today. I'm sure you've seen that the girls are with me, but they're off playing, so I'm not going to get them to come say bye. Please remember, press that like, share and subscribe button. It really does help. Once again, welcome to all the new subscribers. It's lovely to have you here. As always, let me know in the comments below. I'm open to trying experiments if I can do them. So, like I said, with the parsnip one, I had a few people ask me about parsnips. I'd love, if you're putting your parsnips in now, to grow along with me. Head over to the Facebook page, that's Conversation Shed. Join up, and please share your photos. I'd love to see everybody else's experience with their winter veg. I think it will be brilliant. So without further ado, I'll see you later. Don't forget, press that subscribe button.